This is Behind the Streams, episode 2, Slo Mo Mondays. It is Sunday, the 22nd of January. It's 11 p.m. UK time, and it is 6 p.m. Eastern time because my guests are from across the pond. And we have two really interesting DJs that I'm so pleased to have met over the last sort of period of time that we've been on Twitch. Between them, first one of them organised with Don Champ Sound, Slo Mo Mondays, and then we had Dr Breasty Cray, who sort of came in and took it over and helped and put it together and got everyone back into it. And BartyKutz obviously has been there the whole way through. I'm really excited to talk to them about Slo Mo Mondays. So here we go.
Hello, thank you for having us on the show.
You're very welcome. Thank you for coming on the show. I'm glad we could do it. Well, I mean, first of all, I've got to say thank you. You know, I love Slo Mo Monday. I'd done a little bit of sort of 33 stuff a few years ago, and then a little bit last year. But then, obviously, Slo Mo Mondays really got me into it, which I love. So, thank you first of all. But Barty, let's start with you. So, I understand that you and Don Champ Sound was sort of introduced to each other, and obviously that's when it sort of started. So, but can you fill in the story and how it sort of came about?
Sure. That's exactly how it happened. Don Champ Sound was someone who I didn't know, but I was doing a weekly show that called Slow Down Sundays, where I'd play 45s on 33, and a couple people in my chat said, "Hey, do you know Don Champ Sound? He also likes to play things slowed down and more of like from the hip hop, chopped and screwed side of things." And so we met. We started hanging out in each other's channels, and I think we both kind of came up with the idea of, hey, let's just do a show together. And it went through a lot of formulations where we would like raid back and forth. Originally, we would each do 2 30-minute sets,
Right.
and then we would have a headliner at the end go as long as they would like, and we would just have one special guest.
Yeah.
And sometimes neither of us are the most organized. We would like forget to book a special guest and just do it with ourselves. Right. And eventually we realized we were losing people with a bunch of raids. So we just had it simplified. So we would each take a full hour. And like eventually I think Don Champ just started to lose interest and wanted to focus on other things. Around the same time, Dr. Breasty Cray was coming on board, and it's gradually evolved to not just one special guest, but a whole weekly raid train with a bunch of special guests.
Well, I mean, it's been amazing what it sort of turned into. Because I've been fortunate enough to be invited along and love playing on it. But there's even other people who I never thought would do it. Like, for example, Double P. I know him really well through the 45s thing. And obviously when I started doing it, you know, people sort of, and then suddenly you've got, oh, Double P's like a guest. You know, what's going on? It's great. And it's I think Dom may have described it a little bit like a virus, but I think we're sort of going down the lines of maybe like a cult, the cult of Slo Mo.
Yes.
Yes, it's all true.
Yes, it's a cult.
and especially because I can only sort of see it in the corner there, but I really like the new logo that you've done with the snail, and I think that has a little bit of a cult sort of symbol to it as well, just the sort of geometrics and everything. I think it looks really cool.
Yeah, there's like hidden messages in there, draw you in. No, I stole all of that artwork and just combined it.
Oh, that's sort of what we do, isn't it? We take music and then play it at a different speed and make it something completely different, which is great. But Dr. Breasty Cray, how did you get involved?
Actually, it's a cute story because I found Slo Mo through Best Patrick Egan when we were first starting to date. He introduced me to Twitch in general, and shouts out to him. He's an amazing Slo Mo player as well, the people's champ, as we like to call him. And he himself had a night at a bar called Fancy Molasses that he told me about.
Right.
Anyhow, and we were like listening to the Slo Mo, and I was really getting into it. You know, it actually was the reason that I started streaming, is because I wanted to be on Slo Mo.
Okay, interesting.
I had 0 45s at the time. I had a whole record collection. I have played out before. I have DJ'd like in the early 2000s, but I put it on hold, and raised my children, and now I'm like, babies are gone. I'm back to music. It's really lovely. And so I had no 45s. I had to collect a whole new collection of 45s to do it. And then, yeah, we started streaming in May of last year just so I could be on Slo Mo.
I mean, that's a beautiful story. First of all, that's great. That's really cool. But what intrigues me is obviously I've got 45s that I've then thought, oh, let's see what this sounds like at 33. But you've gone out specifically buying 45s to play them at Slo Mo. So
Yeah,
in the record shops, are you playing them at 33 in the record shops to see what they sound like, or do you wait till you get home when you started collecting?
yeah, no, I don't do that at the record shop, but I do it with 12 inches, strangely. I don't do it with 45s, but I do now buy 45 12 inches to play slow. And I do listen to them at the listening station at the record store.
Did the people at the record store know that you do this?
Yes.
Okay. Did they ever suggest to you this would sound good on 33?
Yes.
I mean,
Now
that's crazy, isn't it? Because I've got a guy
they see
called,
me coming now.
well, yeah. I've got that for DJ One of a Kind, who has recently moved over to Hastings, which is just down the road, and he's been sort of my record dealer recently. And when I first told him about 33 and playing at 33s, he was like, oh, there's the track Jolene maybe, but I don't think it really works. And then the second time, it was like, oh, I've got this record that you should definitely try playing at 33 because it might work. And then obviously he sold it to me. But yeah, it's interesting to see how people can sort of get into it who perhaps sort of dismiss it initially. Do you find
Yeah.
that?
I honestly, people will sometimes shut me right down and just say, "Oh, it doesn't inspire me," like DJs,
Right. Okay.
or "I can't stand listening to one song slow." And when I hear that kind of stuff, I mean, I just keep walking, but like to me it's just so close-minded, like why wouldn't you try to have a different experience and find something positive in it?
Yeah. Yeah. We'll come back
And
to
yes, as Double P is saying in the chat, it's addictive.
Oh
It's
yes,
a fact.
definitely. I'm totally addicted. Totally addicted. Even to the point where every 45 that goes through my hands now, I would listen to on 33 just to see, and make a little note. Oh yeah, okay, this works or this doesn't work. We'll come back to some stuff that you mentioned there in a minute. But Barty, so you were doing it obviously a while. Were you doing that a while before Twitch, or was it Twitch that you first started doing Slo Mo?
I was doing it a while. I'm trying to think back to when it started. It was definitely one of the earliest memories I can remember is I was doing. I can say it now because I'm not doing it, but I was doing a weekly illegal pirate radio show in
Right.
town, and we were having a lot of fun. Just we'd get together with friends and record just kind of the craziest like radio drops that are just sound unreal, and then we would like
Right.
once a week just play the stuff. And we actually had 3 or more radio studios, and we would stream like kind of from one spot to the next spot to the next spot, and all along the way everyone would add more effects, more echo, more sound, more
Right.
songs, and
Okay.
we would have like a schedule. And and it was just one of the things we would do often is play slow-mo music, and have a saxophone player or a bass player come in and play on top. And I would even
Oh wow.
sometimes tune into the actual FM radio signal, feed it back through my DJ mixer. And because there was so much delay with all the internet streaming, it would just make it another type of echo effect. And so we just did really trippy things. And one of the things we would do would be slow down records. And I think I've always enjoyed just playing things at the wrong speed, but that was probably the recent memory of it that really got me going.
And when was that? What year or how long ago was that?
It's probably been at least 10 years, around 10 years or so ago.
Wow.
Whatever the statute of limitations is, it was back then. And now I am on a licensed radio station, so I definitely can't mess with illegal pirate radio stuff while I'm actually on the real radio.
Can you still play Slo Mo on the real radio?
I brought it up to my bosses. There's like new management, new ownership, and I brought it up and said, "Hey, like, listen to this mix I made. Can we do this like once a week on the radio? I think it'd be pretty cool." And they're not completely receptive to it, but I've tried it, and I have done it on the local public radio. Has a community radio weekly program where just people can sign up for time slots, and I did do it on there a few times. and I've done it in person in front of like real audiences, and it messes people up. I remember I did just a 1 hour set before some bands of slow-mo music, and everyone was just kind of just like affected by it. People said even like the whole next day, it was just like the Eagles' Take It Easy, Slow Down was just like in their head, and they like, it messes you up even without any substances. It just
Yeah.
feels
Yeah,
that
yeah.
way.
Yeah, we
Because, I
did
mean-
it at a festival this summer. Patrick and I, all Sunday, we just did Slow Mo Sunday.
That's
And it was
awesome.
pretty interesting to see how people received it. Of course,
was
somebody
gonna
did come up and tell us like we weren't playing the record at the right speed.
I mean, were you booked for Slow Mo, or did you just do it?
Well, I have my own, like, it's like a actual wooden shack that I sell vintage out of.
Right. Okay.
And I'm very good friends with the owner of this festival. I was trying to get Barty down there maybe this year. Who knows?
This year,
But,
maybe, yeah. I'd love to.
Yeah, so we brought our own turntables and our own setup, and we told, my friend, we're going to just play into the forest away from the
Right.
stage. And we did that. We did whatever we wanted the whole weekend.
Because
But Sunday was the plan, Slow Mo
Yeah.
Sunday.
I mean, I've played it on Twitch. I haven't yet played it out to know what it'd be like. But I mean, are people people dance? Do they sort of get into it? Is it like a sort of being at a dub reggae sort of? That's what I imagine it. So like people at a dub reggae.
Yeah,
sort
we
of
had
event,
some
sort of-
people come up and like dance and get excited. I mean, we play a lot of slow disco, so
Yeah.
or 80s stuff, so sometimes people do get excited about it and slowly move. But it wasn't like a dance floor. But we didn't have a dance floor. It was like a very experimental year of having my like music inside my booth for the first time. So
Yeah.
next year it'll be even better.
Yeah. That'd be great. And so, Slow Mo Monday. I mean, have you been surprised by how it's built up? Are you surprised that more and more people want to get involved?
I'm surprised how easy it is to keep it going week to week, and
Okay.
how many people are being as affected as I myself was, to the point of having to start streaming just to do it. And yeah, I think what happened was I ended up asking Barty to do it a bunch of times because I really got the bug.
Yeah. Well,
If
it's like
you
me
want to
to
know
you.
how it all went down, how we actually ended up teaming up, it's like we talked on the air, because I'm always, every Thursday, we should shout out the weekly call-in show, right? Barty's.
Yeah, every Thursday. I do
So-
a call-in request show Thursday mornings, East Coast time, 6 a.m. till noon, and Dr. Breasty Cray always calls. I like to have long, just meandering conversations that I can. This week I had over 3 people talk for more than 30 minutes, and we just kind of I have a policy where I just do not hang up on anybody, so we'll just keep the conversation flowing as long as
I
it
think
needs
I've
to go.
missed this. Are you streaming this as well, or is this just on radio?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
6
So
a.m.
people,
Eastern.
do they literally physically call you on a phone?
Yes. I was inspired by Ricardo DJing has a call-in show. We both use just a Google Voice number. And I've recently also added
Interesting.
the ability to call through Discord for people that, may not have a free way to call United States number.
Yeah.
I use an app, a free app to call. So
Well, I guess these days you've got things like WhatsApp and
Yeah.
Messenger and all these
it's
other
called
things. that you can-
Talkatone, I think.
Yeah.
And it's just like it gives you a fake US number and you can just call from your phone.
Interesting.
Usually works.
Interesting. Okay.
But yeah, so
Okay.
I think we worked it out live on the air on Twitch.
Yeah.
It was like, I remember it was very sad. Sorry, Barty, I'm going to tell this story. Remember the
All right.
time that you had a poll and it was like, is Don Champ still my friend?
Oh, I don't know. It might have been something similar to that. Was it exactly that?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
It was so sad. And I was so sad. And I was very sad about the idea of like Slo Mo just kind of dissipating and turning into nothing. You
Mm.
started putting up your karaoke streams and shit. Remember that?
I draw the line at karaoke.
Yeah,
At
I
least
do.
one time you did that.
I do that fairly often, and it's always a bad idea. I sometimes get negative followers. I used to at Slow Mo Slow Down Sunday, that would be when my follower numbers would go backwards. Like I had a big Friday night dance party that I was doing
Right.
every Friday through the pandemic, and then Sundays I would do slow down Sundays, and I'd see like -1, -2 followers. I was like, all right, well, this is just like cleaning up the follower feed for people who aren't ready for the truth.
Well,
Yeah,
there's
goodbye.
almost like a sort of natural cull then, surely, because if they're not into that particular part of what you do, then they either hang around and watch the rest of it, or they go to another channel. That's the beauty of Twitch. There's always another channel, isn't there?
There's always something going on.
Yeah, that's one of the great things about Twitch, which I love, just showing all the different sides of what I can do, creative expression wise. And it usually when you try something new, it's like it's like a little bit of a setback at first, but if you just are consistent with it, then people will know, okay, here's like the 3 flavors I can expect from this channel, and either they're into it or they're not. Because some people do not want to hear a 30-minute phone call over like an 80s loop, but some
surprisingly a lot of people are down though. Like you keep your viewers during some of those phone calls. Some of them not so many, but
yeah.
But yeah, so we worked it out live. Like I was just like, why can't we just make Slo Mo a train? I was like on the phone with you on that show.
And I always love breaking down the fourth wall on all of these shows. So it is kind of fun that we did just work it out live. And until you mentioned this, I forget that is exactly how it happened. It was just we just hashed it out right on Twitch.
Yep.
But again, that's sometimes the best thing. Someone puts something in the chat and you're like, oh, okay, that's a good idea. Let's do this, let's do that. And then suddenly you've got something completely different that you weren't expecting. And that's one of the beauties of Twitch and the interaction and the chat and the community and all of these things sort of put together. Yeah, it's great. Right. So.
Sorry, if you hear any screaming, I'm above a bar, and I think there's football or American football. There's something happening with one of the football teams right now, and people are excited about it.
Okay, all right. Well, that's cool. We can take that. But again, the interaction thing. DJ Local Host was playing, I think, 2 weeks ago, and then I was playing a couple after him, and he's got this points redemption where tell me to say something with the echo on or something like that. So I did that, and we've got what could be a theme.
Ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between, welcome to the Cult of Slo Mo Monday.
Wow.
That guy's got a voice for radio.
I knew we were doing this show. He did that, and I said, well, just say this. And then he recorded it. And then I was like, oh, that's brilliant. I've got it on my phone. It's like, no worries. I've recorded it. I'll sort of chop it down. So we have a theme tune for Slo Mo.
45-Day wants us to have like a press kit.
Yeah, exactly. Why not? We've talked about this. I think it's got legs. I think it can definitely have a little bit of a wider reach. There's lots of people who are into alternative music. It's just a case of, one, if you want to do it, and then two, how we do it. I know Barty's quite keen on, or likes my vision. I don't know if he likes the idea, but he certainly likes the vision that this could be something a little bit more. I mean, what do you think?
I love it. Yeah, I think we could keep it going. Sometimes I'm not the best execution person, which is why I can't thank Dr. Breasty Cray enough for just being the organized person who gets these posters together, who gets the schedule locked down. But yeah, I think there's room for it to get bigger if we just stay consistent, keep making great shows, and all of our guests keep bringing the heat.
Showing up.
Yeah. And again,
so
we
kind
have,
of them.
yeah, I mean, you got the logo. The logo's amazing. We're talking about that. And then obviously on top of that, we've got the great promo. I mean, I love waiting to see what the next video is going to be. And these are just a few of the sort of recent ones. Haven't got the sound on, but
I don't,
I mean,
it's amazing, but I wish I had if anyone knows of something better than Canva that I could use, because what I'm doing this on Canva, and like, technically you should not be doing this on Canva.
But maybe that gives it that other edge, that little edge. and that's why it's different.
This is my favorite part right here.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's the bonkers clips, and I think this is probably my favorite one. I mean, this
Oh,
one,
my birthday.
like exactly. I was like, you sent this to us, like, what is going on in this video?
Yeah, I kind of love the limitations of it. It has its own like
Really?
pacing. Yeah, because it's Canva, they all have a similar pacing, and
Yeah,
it's pretty awesome how it it comes. It's just very consistent.
Okay, as long as you guys love it. I am like the
oh yeah,
harshest critic, So I'm like, oh, I see every mistake that I made or things that I couldn't tighten up. You know what I mean? This one's pretty tight though.
yeah. But it's part of the appeal, surely. It's if it was sort of completely slick and like really well polished and really well produced, it would be for people playing music at the right speed, maybe.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, I was actually talking to someone who made flyers, and they were telling me that the thing they liked doing was making it imperfect, doing something, a blatant error, you know, just to give it something
realness.
je ne sais quoi. And yeah, it kind of seems like it's like some kind of like mishmash of like pirate radio and zines and like making your like being a VJ of some kind, like just mashing all this
Yeah.
together, and there you are.
And then just see what comes out.
Yeah.
And I think it just works. It works really well.
Well, thank you.
But yeah, so where do we go next? Where do you want to take it next? Just literally just carry on for now?
I mean, I think it's very exciting that Barty and I are gonna meet soon in real life. Maybe we can do a real life slow mo. Is that the night of your birthday or?
We could do it on the night of my birthday, but yeah, if you're there like any days before or after, we could definitely do some streams, from the studio, and we could definitely broadcast the party, like, from wherever it happens. It's still kind of up in the air if it's going to be a house party or at a bar. It's almost like leaning back towards the bar. I know you want the house party, but
yeah, because I don't want. Oh, can we shout out the chat? There's nice people here. Les the DJ
Let me
is
just
here.
try and get rid of this.
We've
big ups to Les
got
the DJ.
Double P.
Double P. If you're in
Chris
the house, can you try
Wheatley, Best Patrick Egan. I saw this Twitch Witch. Thank you to this Twitch Witch for being such an amazing support.
We have got Les the DJ. We got lots of people in.
Yeah, and one interesting thing about slow mo is like when people are first on, they almost like have more rigid rules, or like, oh, like fast songs sound good slow, or sparse songs sound good slow, or this genre. And I'm at the point where I just like everything slow, and I'm so used to it that I think like any style of music is good slow. And if you watch the train for a few hours, you just get used to it. Like you get used to like the temperature of water. And you're just like, I sometimes I have to question myself, like, is this song even slowed down? Or
I
like,
do that too all the time.
I did that today. today.
Right?
Like,
did they accidentally put the key lock on? Is the pitch low enough? Is the key lock on? Or what's going on here?
Yeah, I think it's interesting when people think it's like a joke. I think I've talked about this live on the air with Barty on the call-in show before. Like, this shit can get fucking serious. All right. And it is amazing when it gets serious. That's when you're like, whoa, like some of the like drum and bass DJs and house DJs we've had slow down.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. Double P's on that list.
Mm-hmm.
Living in Darkness. Wow.
Yeah, the drum and bass people and the jungle people, that's like, it's some of the coolest things. I think because a lot of drum and bass music will take samples and speed them up. And then when you slow it back down, you're hearing like it close to the original thing, but the drums are going so crazy, and it's just another kind of microscope into the track and like what's really going on. Because my brain can't really wrap its head around like full speed drum and bass, but like slowing it down, it's like that's my tempo.
Yeah, like I'm out there looking for drum and bass right now at 45. That is something I never ever thought I would be doing.
You're looking out for drum and bass 45s. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm doing collecting them because my daughter, who likes jungle, ZZ 45, she really likes jungle music, so I'm trying to get some 45s for her.
Well, you should
drum
slow
and bass
those down.
and slow them down, exactly. Definitely, but it becomes a bit more breakbeat, doesn't it, from drum and bass to the again, because it's the sort of maths, isn't it, of slowing it down. I think it's 21%, something like that. So obviously you start with the drum and bass track at 170. Knock 21% off, you're sort of hitting about 135, which is sort of a breakbeat sort of tempo. So that's it works. It's amazing.
Well, you can slow it down even further just with your like manual.
Well,
pitch.
yeah, we I think we did it. I think it was two slow-mos before. Someone said pitch it right down, because I've got plus and minus 50 on these, so it's 33.
Whoa.
And we literally took
That
it
is
right
awesome.
down to almost zero, and there was just a bit of a drone going on. But even that was so much fun. Just experimenting.
Spy Hopper is great for that, and he's using tapes, and he has pitch control on that.
Pitch control.
They can make it go super slow.
Yeah, I feel like almost every week someone is breaking new ground and doing something that's never been done. Like I remember, someone slowed down the Dark Side of the Moon with the Wizard of Oz, and like played that whole thing slowed down.
Hey, Don Champ is here, y'all.
Welcome to Don Champ
Hi,
Sound.
Don Champ.
Hey, and we've had people that didn't have their controller able to slow down stuff as much as they thought they could, so they busted out a power tool and like using a drill to like do the backwards nudge to kind of slow it down, and it just like the whole set was just like drilling the controller backwards. Just some crazy stuff has happened.
Yeah.
There's
been like really crazy stuff that's happened.
That's bonkers. That's absolutely bonkers.
Yeah, like the microphone. Like,
no.
All right, I won't mention that.
But what also is happening is that we're like growing as a family, don't you think?
Yeah, definitely.
Like, look at the chat right now. It's everyone who is like a staple in Slo Mo.
Yeah.
Like we have a nice circulating, residency going on with like so many good DJs, yourself included.
Thank you.
Yes.
I love being on it. Yeah, but it's all about the community on Twitch, isn't it? But I love that there's all these different little communities, and it's the raid events. Again, they all sort of generate their own little. So we've got our community with Slo Mo. I play on Raiders of the Lost Art on a Wednesday. That's another community. We've got the 45 Kings community, and it's trying to bring everyone together. If we could get all of our sort of connections into one place at one time, then we'd have something really special. I think that's going to be the plan further down the line, to bring everyone that we know together.
I mean,
maybe
I like it being a little small, like underground.
Yeah,
I don't like those rooms with like 150, 250 people in them, to be honest.
I know, I agree. I don't think we need to get to that high. I mean, I think Jazzy Jeff was on, and he had like 1,000, and the music's amazing, but there's no way you. He had Cosmo Baker was playing just now, and then I think he's got people at his house. But yeah, 1,000 people in the chat. You just you can't keep up with it, and you can't have these conversations between people that you do have in our chats, or in the Slo Mo Monday chats, because there's only 20, 30 people, 40 people sometimes, you can have these conversations and follow these conversations and communicate in that sort of chat, which is like going to a bar, or maybe going to a festival tent, or going to something where something's going on, and just hanging out with all these cool people.
Definitely. One of the things that we were kind of touching on earlier that I'm really proud of is that we can feature people that it might be their very first like stream ever, like people that are like still figuring out how to do OBS, still figuring out how to DJ, and we like have an open door to like brand new streamers, as well as like professional DJs that might have a following already. We love just and watching those streamers grow from like being like brand new rookies to being regular guests that are just putting on amazing shows, and it's fun.
Beep Awesome is a good example of that.
Definitely. It's great watching people grow. Like
Don's saying it's gone badly once or twice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, I would like to take risks, because like some of my favorite like things to see like as an audience member, like in a live concert, is a band where you don't know if it's going to be the best thing ever, or if it's just going to be a train wreck and the worst show ever. I like just things where like anything is possible. Because if it's so tight and rehearsed and planned
Yeah.
out, then there's no room for it to like really be magic. You kind of have to take some risks, and sometimes it does go off the rails, and that's okay.
Yeah. But you do take a every time you play one at 33, in your head it sounds good, but until someone else actually listens to it, you don't know if it is or not. Well, I mean, it is good, but you know what I mean in one
No
sense.
way.
Yeah, I think if you believe it and you're selling it and
Okay.
you've smoked
Yeah.
enough weed, it always sounds good.
I don't
Well, yeah.
smoke weed, and it sounds really good to me.
Yeah. Well, exactly. We've got Double P. Double P is doesn't smoke, doesn't drink. And he's well into the sort of 33. It's amazing. Um, do you think it could? You said obviously you're going to hopefully meet up and do it. Do you think it could translate properly to like a night in real life?
Yes, but not a regular thing. Like, I don't know. Yes, maybe. I'd say maybe.
Cough syrup. Okay, I have a cough syrup dependency. Okay, no, I don't.
We've got MC Clancy. I've got to shout out. Barty, you sent
Clancy.
me a link to the documentary that MC Clancy was involved with, who is DJ BartyKutz, and he says Slo Mo's fundamentally changed the way I buy records when I go to record stores now. So
I would say same.
Yeah.
Oh
It's all
yeah,
about those
100%.
12-inch 45s, and I've actually changed how I organize my records. I actually just started organizing my records. It used to be complete chaos, but I'm having everything where
sick,
everything
man.
here is 12-inch 45s,
Right.
and it's great.
Sorry, Patrick was outing me for actually taking some codeine cough syrup last night, but I have an illness yesterday, last week. Now I feel like I am an addict. Thank you.
Yeah, and just like Dr. Breasty Cray, the record store proprietor in my town, we just have one store. He knows what I'm looking for. If there's like a special, audiophile
Okay.
pressing of an album at 45, he'll let me know. And like, hey, did you see the new Fleetwood Mac Rumors got repressed at 45? And I'll be like, ooh, that is nice.
So they're now pushing records on you specifically to play at 33.
Yes.
And as Don Champ Sound says, 45 to 33 is like 6 to 7 semitones. Okay. And
Yeah.
he's good at maths. I see that's Nirvana.
Yeah. 45 RPM in utero.
Whoa, that's
Ooh.
cool.
That's going to sound interesting.
Yeah, you know what I want to do, Barty, if I come there is use the digital file because that's what I don't have access to. Like when people are not using vinyl, I want to try that because I have a lot of weird songs in my head that I want to slow down.
We definitely can do that.
Well, I mean, Barty, do you just play vinyl slow, or do you use digital as well and slow it down?
I do both. I like to just be open about the formats. I don't want to put rules on it,
Yeah.
so I'll like play with Serato or vinyl. Lately, it's been almost all vinyl in my sets, just because it's fun and it's simpler. It's like one less step if you're not browsing a computer screen. You're just flipping through records.
Yeah. So I was going to say with Serato, I don't know if you've upgraded to the 3 with the stems. Have you had to go on that?
Oh yes.
Yes, I've done some slow stems before. I slowed down that viral video song, "Taste the Biscuit," and I was like taking the acapella from that and putting that over, like I think 1-2 Step from Sierra and Missy Elliott, and just having fun with it. Like, yeah, that was like one of my favorite mixes, and I like to just try them for the first time, during the shows. I don't like to work things out in advance. I like to just
see
be
what
completely
happens.
spontaneous. The most I'll prepare lately is just maybe I'll have my first song figured out, and then from there just go.
See, I'm the opposite. I feel like if I like take some time and like curate my set a little bit, it's gonna get serious and it's gonna be way better than if I just improvise the whole thing. But I think that's because I'm just an anxious person.
Okay. Yeah, that's an interesting. I mean, it depends. Sometimes I've got stuff that I've prepared, and other times I haven't. I want to get. I think what I want to do by the end of this year is put together a set that has specifically chosen visuals as well to actually sort
That's
of
cool.
do it. That's what I think I'm sort of working towards at the end of this year. But MC Clancy says a good point. He did Slow Mo in real life with Barty the other day after they released Stems, and it was like watching a mad scientist discover a new element.
It was a really fun day. I think he was there when I discovered the taste the biscuit, and like I was able to like get the acapella and slow it down and put it over another beat, and yeah, it was so much fun.
And the next comment from Les is, "I ate too much corn." So this is the I don't know.
She loves to let you right in.
How much corn is too much? But yeah, well, this is sort of the people we roll with now. You know, it's great. You know,
yeah.
I love Les when she comes on and does sets. It's a great. Twitch is asking, what song is "Taste the Biscuit"?
There's a full-length movie called like Toasters and Moose, and it's on YouTube, and it's really hard to describe, but it was kind of a viral hit, and there's a kind of a tiny corner of TikTok that I've like. The algorithm has determined that I'm a part of, where everyone is just constantly remixing that song in other genres and other styles, and it's kind of it's really hard to describe, but it's I'm a big fan of the Taste the Biscuit song.
We have to check it out. I'm pretty sure there's a thing on your Instagram. You did a post, didn't you, about that? Did you do a post?
I probably did. I can't be responsible for everything I post on Instagram. I sometimes just post at odd hours without any forethought.
Okay. I sent you a question earlier, both of you. I said, what 7 words would you choose to describe Slo Mo? Barty, do you want to go first?
Sure. I'm going to come up with this right on the spot because I thought about it and I came up with nothing in advance, but definitely like freedom, because we can be like free with it, and like loose, open, chill, fun. Is that 7? Where I get 5 maybe? I don't know. It's hard for me to just distill it to what it is.
Yeah.
But I think all of those words are kind of describing it.
Yeah. A few of those are what I was coming up with as well. Dr. Breasty Cray, you got 7.
Okay, this is all best Patrick Egan. I'm not even gonna lie, because he is a smooth operator. Longer songs,
yeah,
smoother grooves, and more bass.
That is 7. You definitely prepared that.
Yeah. See, Barty, a little.
Yeah.
No, we did it like I got the question and we talked for a whole 3 minutes and that came out. So yeah.
And I'm on a level of nerdiness that no one is going to care about. I think it's very interesting how when you slow it down, all vinyl goes through like, your phono preamp, which when they cut the record so the needle doesn't skip out, they cut the bass at a specific frequency and boost the treble. And then when it goes through your preamp, it does the reverse of that. But the places where those boosts and cuts happen are altered when you change the speed. So it's getting boosted at a frequency that already has full bass. So it's like double boosting the bass on top of it being lower. And so you do get like some extra warmth, and it's just certain songs like have the bass that's right in the frequency of that boost, and it sounds really nice. But it just that's the difference between if you do it with vinyl or if you do it digitally. Which digital is cool, we welcome digital, but vinyl does have that extra warmth because of the RIAA equalization curve.
That is interesting. Because I find I put a little bit of reverb on some records. I put a little bit of reverb, and that again just sort of expands the spaciness of it as well, and just gives the sound a bit more time to breathe. And I think that's part of it, isn't it? They are longer songs. A 3.5 minute 45, for example, becomes 5-ish minutes, and everything's just takes his time. And
wouldn't those 7 words look good right around that logo, Barty?
Yeah. Well, Barty 7 words.
What were your 7 words again?
You had the better 7 words. I was like fun and chill and free.
I think, yeah. I think Dr. Breasty Cray, yours would look better.
Best
Patrick's.
Patrick.
Okay,
Shout out to
Patrick's.
best Patrick
Credit to
sitting
Patrick.
7 feet over there.
He should put them in the chat, and then we'll put them up on the screen again.
Can you put them on in the chat?
Hold on, that would look like that one Spaceman 3 album cover. I remember that. Yeah, I remember that album. But yeah, there you go. So constantly evolving. Here we go. Longer songs, smoother grooves, and more bass.
Yeah.
Good.
Perfect.
I'll pledge
okay.
allegiance to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
We just now need to get DJ Local Host to say it in an echo on his next stream. Is he on tomorrow?
Yes, he's opening.
Oh, cool. Okay. Well, let's do that. Let's get him to do that tomorrow, and go from there. But have you been surprised by people? Have there been people that have approached you and said, "I want to get involved in slow mo," and you thought, "Do you get this? Do you not get it?" Or has everyone been someone that's been part of it before?
Oh my God. I love when people cold call, approach me and want to get involved. And those people, I'm never surprised by how good they are because they're actually interested in it. When I'm approaching people cold, sometimes I feel like they're the ones who don't get it. You never know what you're going to get. But if somebody is approaching me, then I'm like, okay, this person is invested,
Yeah.
And they always are.
Yeah, some people, especially on their first time doing it, are like questioning it as they do it. Be like, "Oh, I don't know if I can hear that. Like, I don't know if I can handle this, or I don't know if I like this one."
Pull this out my good records.
Yeah.
Which is so bizarre to me. It's like, why not? Pull out the heat, my friend.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All killer, no filler. That's what we like, And also, because you've only got an hour at the alternate speed, you don't actually need that many records.
It's true.
As well. Well, it depends how you mix in them, but you don't. If you just literally play them all out, you're talking.
Barty, what's the least amount of records you've played on Slo Mo? I feel like you might have a record.
Yeah, I didn't count, but I definitely had an hour where I might have played like 7 records or less. I was really like letting the records breathe and just playing super long, extended mixes. So yeah, it is fun. I sometimes do like to do things where like you do as little as possible because I know how to mix and all this stuff, but it's sometimes fun to not do any beat matching, not do like anything fancy. Maybe just a little echo, little filter. It's always fun, and just let the put all the effort into just picking the right song at the right time.
And it also slows you down as well, because obviously we all lead these hectic lives, and this is what I find. There's always something going on, but for that hour, it's slowed down, but it feels like 2 hours. But also, like you say, you're not doing. I don't know. It's just the rhythm of your system just sort of slows down, which is what one of the things I love about it. Do you find that?
Yes.
Yes.
One word answer.
Pause. Yes.
I do too. I mean, I always feel good after playing slow.
Yeah.
And I love discovering all the little hidden parts of songs that you don't hear when it's moving fast,
Do you have a favorite song to slow down? Not to be shipped into being the interviewer.
That's a tricky question. It's like anything, isn't it? You can't choose. But I think one of them I would say is Roots Maneuver. Witness. You right there, Barty?
Yeah, I turned down the mic so I could cough, but I'm good.
No. I think Roots Maneuver, Witness, One Hope, but there's a dub version on the flip.
I totally hung out with them in the 90s, and we ate poutine.
Amazing.
That's my story.
That's your story.
I'm sticking to it.
That's a good one. But yeah, so I think that one, just because I love the sounds, and it's a dub version already, and obviously dub goes even better when it's slowed down. So I think if I had to just keep one or play one, it would be that one. What about you, Dr. Breasty Cray?
I mean, I love slowing down disco so much. So yeah, I don't know. That Patrick Cowley, Sylvester.
Again, Menergy or
No, not Menergy. Do You Want a Funk is pretty good. Yeah.
Yes.
And then there's some like really weird, obscure French Quebecois ones that I've recently found that sound really dope slow. So,
Nice.
but yeah, I have a hard time. Like, I don't want to repeat myself,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
yeah.
it's insane, because it's like, how do you not repeat yourself? So, if I've played like the same thing slow a couple times, I start feeling like a cheater or like I'm not putting enough effort. But it's like, who is noticing this but me?
Well,
Well,
I think it's nice to repeat songs though, because
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
a radio station like plays the same songs, and
I
someone's like,
know.
"These are the songs that are in rotation." I think like these songs are so good that you should hear them more than once. Maybe not every
Yeah.
single show, but I
Yeah.
kind of like bringing back my favorites and just mixing them in a different way, in a different order, but just
Yeah.
including
And
them.
it's how you play them, what you play them against, what you play them before, after, and all that. But do you think that's a Twitch thing? Do you think you're conscious because you're on Twitch and it's
Yes,
almost like a
100%.
perform? Yeah, because obviously if you're a gigging
Live.
DJ
Yeah.
or a DJ that goes out and plays regularly, you know what works for that particular venue or that particular
Exactly.
night or whatever, and you're going to play similar songs, aren't you? So it's weird that on Twitch we've all got this view of, oh well, I played that last week or I played that 2 weeks ago. There's records I haven't played on Twitch for 2 years because I was playing them at the beginning when I started on Twitch, and now I'm still thinking, well, I have played it before,
Yeah, it's so
which is a weird
strange.
concept, isn't it? It's really weird.
Yeah. I honestly like just try and space it out because it's absolutely impossible being a vinyl only DJ to not repeat a record, and also
Yeah.
makes no sense. But yeah, I am pretty aware if I repeat a record, and like I might even be aware of who was there the first time and that they're there again.
Right. Okay. Are you keeping
God
notes?
damn
Well, I
it.
played this song, this disco song on this day, and
Yeah.
these were the people. Yeah.
Or even like I was saying, I buy a lot of my 45s just to slow. And
Yeah.
then when I do like a raid train for you, like an event with you where it's 45s only, then I'm
Yeah.
like playing them at regular speed and thinking, oh gosh, I hope no one saw me play these slow. Who cares?
Exactly. And it's Double P. Double P doesn't need any more excuse to buy more vinyl.
Yeah,
But it
me
gives you an
neither.
excuse. Yeah, we don't
I do
need any
not.
more excuse. We've got plenty of excuses to buy. What about you, Barty? I don't know if you answered your own question.
Oh no,
Is there a
I didn't.
particular song you like to slow down?
Yeah, for the longest time, I think my favorite was Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons recorded a few songs as the Wonder Who, and they do a
Right.
cover of "Don't Think Twice, It's All Right." Oh no, not that. It's no, it is "Don't Think Twice, It's All Right," the Bob Dylan song, and it's like super like fast and falsetto-y, and then lowering that is just amazing. And that was my favorite until I found this Donovan 45, his song Atlantis. Like it's just like got such a crazy like intro, like a spoken intro, and then a big kind of like almost like sea shanty type chants at the end, and it's just like Atlantis by Donovan's got to be my number one slow down song.
Love Donovan.
Amazing. But I love when you just put something on and the vocal kicks in and you're like, yes, that absolutely works. But do you do this thing where, so I always start them at 33 and see what they sound like and then sort of slowly pitch it up to see where it fits? Is it just me or do you guys do that sort of thing as well?
I definitely play around with it. Sometimes I leave it, and sometimes I'll just go all the way -8 on the turntables, and I'll just like it. And I'll just maybe not even notice and keep both turntables at -8 to go even slower.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I intentionally do that the entire time. I'm generally -8 on both turntables.
So 33 -8.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that is so
We
much
like
fun.
it slow,
We're,
man.
we're hooked on this slow
purists.
shit.
Maybe that's the thing. Did you start there and now you're at -8? Will you be at like -10 next week and then?
We can't go further than that, right, Bertie?
Not on the
Not on
Technics
these
turntables, yeah. On other turntables, you can go past it, but yeah, I guess just you keep needing more and more slow. Maybe like we should take of some time off and get like a tolerance break and then like go back to it. But I can't. I'm still not tired of slow mo music. I could do it forever.
Yeah. Me too.
Well,
I do recommend though, Barty. There is a nice like I do like taking a week off and coming back because then I get really excited to come back.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll have
If you
to
want that? Let me
take a
know.
week. Like, I don't know if like my wife's birthday ever shows up on a Monday or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's why I like sort of doing, if I can, every other week, like you say, because it's nice sort of getting something together and then having 2 weeks to get a set or get some records for the next one. So it gives me time to go through more records and sort of do it. But yeah, it's great. And so we just carry on. Obviously, we've got 33 Day coming up as well, which is a slightly different. I didn't want to sort of steal the sort of Slo Mo Monday. So it's any format of vinyl at 33 or 45s at 33. So, Dr. Breasty Cray, you've been involved in organising some people for that.
Yes, I am.
You just need to
I swear.
No, you got it. I think the list's almost there. You just need to finalise it.
I feel like we're doing so many things together. We're also doing that event next week or this week.
Yeah, we got the 45 Queens event on the 45 Kings channel. Yeah, coming up. I need to do that. Lots of stuff. We got Les is involved in that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, lots of people. So it's cool. And who have you got this week? I think we've got the flies. Let me put the video up.
Thank you.
Another great
Another
great
banger.
video.
You like it? You guys like it?
It's
It's amazing.
It's so cool.
It's kind of cheesy.
I mean, this bit.
This annoyed the shit out of me, so I'm happy it worked out. Sometimes it's like, Canva is it's kind of glitchy. So even when it works, it screws up. So it takes a long time to know whether or not the result I'm looking for is actually working out and it's not just showing me like a glitching, broken video. So yeah, it's a labor of love.
Yeah, but it works, and that's that extra element, like we said earlier. It's that extra little element. So we've got a theme, you've got a logo, we've got videos.
Island Vibes is on this week. Has he ever slowed with you, Barty? I don't think so.
It's hard for me to remember. I thought maybe, but I think we were talking a while ago, and it didn't happen until now. The magic of Dr. Breasty Cray allowed it to happen. And also, I forget exactly, but I think Seaside FM was saying something earlier that like really resonated about how you have to like get your regular songs in, and how like even if they're reruns to you, they're still new to other people. Because when I'm watching Seaside FM, I don't think I know a single one of the tracks that are being played. Yeah, and that's what I love about being there, is that like it's all going to be music I don't know.
Well, that's the thing. You can't assume your audience knows what you've got, and just because you've heard it, like you say, the audience might not have heard it before at all, at regular speed or sort of slow down.
You guys are really encouraging me to play a full repeat set tomorrow. I'm going to do it.
But I don't think we've had Seaside FM as a guest yet.
You should ask Seaside what they think about slowing songs down. I might have asked them.
Oh, are they not a fan?
Okay. Well,
we'll see what they say.
Let's see.
No pressure.
Yeah, exactly. There's no pressure here. It's. I think there's no going back once you get involved, though. I think
it's if you're willing to open your mind to it and just give it a shot.
Yeah.
You might find a result that you weren't expecting.
Double P, I have played Phenomena by the Muppets at 33. I think that might have been one of the first slow mo ones I did, but that was fun. Right. Any last thoughts before we find someone to raid out to?
I'll say, Barty, thank you so much for letting me do this thing with you, because I kind of just like came in hot with the please let me help you, and now look where we're sitting. I feel like if we just keep this really fun community going, it's going to grow and grow.
Now, thanks so much for breathing new life into it, because your strengths perfectly lined up with my weaknesses, and just it makes for a great team. And I feel like we could just keep doing this forever. And of course, thanks to Criztoz for having us on this show and
Yeah,
helping spread the word to everyone, not just watching
Yeah.
live, but all the future people watching on
Exactly.
YouTube. Thanks for being interested
the
in the Slo Mo
future
Monday.
people.
I'm just looking for someone to raid. Is someone live who does play slow mo?
Let's see.
I've got
45 days live right now.
that's us. I don't know actually.
Skate Eterno.
Oh yeah, Skate Eterno did a crazy slow mo set. Skate Eterno did not want to end the set. It was like, this is so much. Sometimes people like start their hour, they're like, this is so much fun. I cannot stop.
Can you chuck the channel? Because I don't think I'm following them. Someone can chuck the.
If we raid in with our slow mo crew, then we can give him a reason to come back. I know he's thinking about it. He actually was one who he had an hour, but he needed like a few to really get in there. You could see that he was using his like dusty 45s at the beginning, and then he was like, wait a minute, I have all these 45 12 inches. And then all of a sudden the tone changed and he got so into what he was doing that at the end of his set, we almost were like, hey, don't forget to raid, by the way. He like went over.
That's amazing. And yes, have I spelled that right? Is the raid correct? Skater Turner. I think so.
Yes, I think so.
I think so. Cool. Well, it's been a pleasure. I mean, I keep saying to people, this is just the start. So, maybe we can have another call-in session in a few months' time and see where we're going.
Hey, 45 Day, thank you so much for everything you do and for how like serious of a motivator you are. That is why I have a logo, or we have a logo at this moment.
He's my I was, you're like, oh, I'm working on a logo. And I was like, oh, is it going to be ready? Is it going to be ready for the show? You're like, yeah.
I was literally like, what?
Here it is.
I was like, why does he want a logo? I don't get. Oh, that show we're doing. Gotcha.
Yeah, that show we're doing that we talked about. But thank you so much. Thank you so much for giving up your time and coming in. And I'm looking forward to Slow Mo tomorrow and the repeat sets. And yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you so much, guys. And we will definitely speak soon.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. See you, Barty.
Yeah, see you soon.